And here we are. Hello, Stephan. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Vincent.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Zandvoort in the Netherlands at
All
my
right.
house.
Very good, very good. And me, myself, I am at IKEA headquarters down here in Cabarete. So here we are together today for half an hour, 45 minutes, to speak a little bit about that new organization, the IWO, International Wingfoil Organization. I see some people are online. Can anyone out there confirm we are live somewhere? In Facebook, we should be on Facebook, both IWO and IKO. If you post a comment on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, we should be able to see it and hopefully answer it. So I have someone over there that does that sign. It's very Facebook Facebook-like. So we are live. So Wingfoil. Maybe Stephan, you can explain us quickly what is wingfoil for if anyone doesn't not know what is that.
Great. Yeah. So wingfoiling is basically windsurfing 2.0. You take a board, you put a hydrofoil underneath, much like the known kite foiling, and you add a wing, which is a kite without lines in a way. And it's a very dynamic sport. It's you can jump, you can make turns, you can ride in many conditions, you can ride in many spots which aren't allowed to kite, for instance. So it's a fantastic new way to get out.
Exactly. So I have put some videos out there on the screen, and I do agree with what you said. And so I believe you are a wingfoiler yourself. Tell us a bit about the experience. How hard is it for a kiter to learn? What's the easiest part and the hardest part, maybe compared to kite or windsurf also, because we have a lot of windsurfer out there.
Yeah, I am not a windsurfer by origin. I am a kiteboarder. I've been kiting for about 20 years. I've been kite foiling for about 5 years, very regularly, and switched to wingfoil this year or earlier last year. And I'd say the hardest part is learning to ride the foil. So if you know how to kite foil, it makes it a lot easier. And for the rest, you can practice playing with the wing just on the beach. I started with a mountain board in the winter. So I was riding on the beach with a mountain board.
Oh, cool.
That's super fun to do in 15 knots and a bit more. And then it's easiest to learn in flat water, waist deep water preferably. There's all kinds of gear you can learn on, but in the end, it's just practice.
Yeah, exactly. And for people who might not know, when Stephan talk about the foil, it's that thing that is under the board and kind of make the board goes up with some speed. Nowadays, we see foil everywhere on windsurf, on kite, on boats also. And also we have it here. For people who don't know how to use a foil, usually you start on a SUP, a big board, big surfboard, let's say. So the first ride, you do it like this, also on mountain board. And I would suppose, I've never seen, but I'm pretty sure people on the mountain and on the snow, they use it also. It's like kiteboarding. As soon as you have wind, then you adapt the board. And that's it. You can go. So we have seen some people that say hello. We have Nick, Miguel, and Nick actually is asking a question. Are there instructors for this? It's a very good question, Nick, because we're here actually to talk about that with Stephan. So for the people who know, we are usually from the IKO. It's here, International Kiteboarding Organization. And we have also created the International Wingfoil Organization. That are two separated organizations. And basically, the IWO is going to do the same for wingfoil that the IKO does. So we're going to train instructor. And actually, Stephan here is an IWO examiner and training master, let's say, because he's also IKO. I have to be careful, IKO examiner and training master. So he is, like myself, going to train instructor. You have already a training that is scheduled, Stephan? Am I right?
Early September, we'll be doing one in Haarlem in the Netherlands on a lake with windmills.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a fantastic lake. We have support boats, all the gear that you need to teach, and it's waist deep water. And we have a setup with we have 5 instructor candidates already.
All right.
So
How many people go to the course maximum?
8.
Yeah, 8. All right. I know my days. It's 5 days. So the course. Any in Cape Town? No, Nick, not yet. Not in Cape Town, but pretty soon because we are working on it. Right now, all the courses will be in Europe. So actually, I can show you here. I'm on the IWO page, IWOintl.com. So if you go there, there is pretty much all the information you need. And if you want to become an instructor, just click here, and you will start to have the information. There are several ways to become IWO instructor. If you are, so that's for most of the people, if you are just a wingfoiler, no kite certification so far, then you need to follow a 5-day ITC course, so like the one we were talking with Stephan. So you just click here and you can book one of these courses. If I'm not exactly here, we have all the courses. So the first one, it's this one with Stephan. We have another one pretty soon after that in KTS Tarifa, Spain. We have another one in France with at Wind Magic with Steve Jones. KTS, it's with Daniele Olivieri. And then again, Bull Tarifa with Dominique Braillet. We have several and more to come because the organization is new. We are still training new examiner and affiliating new schools because the system works pretty much the same like the IKO one. We need the school to be IWO. We need to have an IWO examiner like Stephan, Daniele, Steve, Dominique, myself, and more to come. We have also having well, yeah, I was going further. There is also in Le Mans at Englouz with Christian Stepno, Mauritius, awesome location. And soon we should have also in Australia with Chris Sall. It doesn't have set the date, yes. But yeah, pretty much there are more to come. So you can find the information on the page. So that's for people who don't have IKO certification. For the IKO instructor, at least for the first year, maybe the second, we have created a shorter path. So if you're an IKO instructor and you're active, of course, and you know how to wingfoil, that's pretty easy to become an IWO instructor. You need to pass the coach course, IKO coach course wingfoil, because in IKO there is also the possibility, and you will cross over. So it's an online course, and you will cross over and become IWO instructor like this. And if you are IWO instructor, then you can affiliate your school and eventually organize some ITC over there. I hope that's answered the question. Nick, yeah, you also already said it did. So pretty much that's it. Price of your course, Stephan?
We're keeping the default price. I honestly don't know how much it is.
So it's new for everyone. So the default price, it's $1,000 for the 5-day course, including insurance. So that's important. It's like the IKO courses nowadays. It includes the insurance. So it means that as soon as you book the course, you insure for your practice as a rider. And as soon as you are certified instructor, you insured professionally. It means like when you're teaching, the insurance covers you in case anything happens. We don't want anything to happen, so that's why we have pro courses. But in case, you can have this.
Sorry, Vince, maybe good to clarify. It's because I got this question yesterday from the organizer as well. If, let's say, from a professional point of view, you're teaching and something happens to your student, then you are perhaps liable for this incident, and that's what the insurance covers, right? Exactly. So it doesn't cover material costs or anything like this, but it's a business liability insurance.
Exactly this, yeah. Cool. More stuff about I think on the how to book instructor course have been pretty clear. Guys, people watching, if you have any question, please feel free to add. So we were saying before that because you shared your experience about learning, I will share mine because compared to you, the difference is I am a windsurfer. So actually this sport, it's really, windsurfer really goes easily compared to kiter in it. Because as you said, I'm totally agreeing with the fact that the hardest part is the foil for sure. But for a windsurfer, it's pretty easy because the sail movement are pretty much the same. So myself, when I started last year, or the year before, I don't even remember. That was during the COVID for sure. Here in Cabarete, I was on day one. I was like, oh, that feels exactly the same. Feels exactly the same. So that's why many windsurfers actually cross over here in Cabarete. We have this situation. The kiters still are a bit testing. They are not sure if they want to cross over, but the windsurfer do and learn it pretty fast. The advantage compared to windsurf is you need less material because windsurfing, you need to have, let's say for kite, maybe with 2 kites, you're okay. For windsurfer, if you're a serious one, you will quickly need at least 3 or 4 sails. It's a lot of money. You need a mast, you need a bone. It's a lot of material. With wingfoil, you need less. There is no mast, for example. And so that's an advantage. What do you ride actually when you go wingfoiling, Stephan? What brand?
Yes, I have a Harlem brand, so it's a local brand, and I use an 88-liter board. It's still quite big, but it's about my size. I ride mostly in the waves here. I have an 85 centimeter mast and a 1280 square centimeter front wing from F1.
Okay.
And I'm using a 3, 4, and 5 wing, a square meter wing.
All right. And how long did it take you to really learn it from day one you start, and how many sessions an average skater can expect to, because you knew, of course you knew how to, you said before, you already knew the hardest part, which is hydrofoiling, the foiling part. You were an hydrofoiler on kite before, right?
Yeah, so I started in water that was too shallow. So I was mostly, once I got up on the board, I was stuck in the sand. So that was pretty tricky. And then I was going in deeper water, but I didn't have a board leash. So I lost my board in the mangroves and I swam after it. So that was day one.
Okay.
And from there it went pretty quickly. But day one, I wasn't very prepared. But after that, it took about 2 days to get up and go. And it's pretty cool because you can start doing turns very, very similar to the kite foiling. You can do jibes and you can ride toe side. I hear that many windsurfers find it hard to ride toe side.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage for kiters and for wave riders and things like that. So.
Yeah, because in windsurf, unless you're really into freestyle and really good, you don't ride toe side. As soon as you do a jibe or attack, then you change side and you go to the other side of the board. And so you're basically pretty much all the time you're heel side, not the same like compared to kite surfing, as you mentioned. And you said before the wave, you're riding in the wave. That's a cool advantage of the wing foiling, no? The wave riding. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's definitely the reason why I'm leaving my kites in the locker more often than before. And it goes back to basically wave riding or surfing a lot more than kite foiling does, or even riding with a waveboard. In the sense that you can catch up to the wave, and then once you have it, you can leave your wing, your inflatable wing behind you, and just and ride down the wave. And that's the kind of videos that you're seeing now, which is really the big plus of riding. Wavefoil.
I can find wingfoil wave riding, because that's for me. It's definitely the best part of the wingfoiling. So I'm going up. I've just took an average video. So we have this guy up, and at this moment, as soon as you catch the wave, You really let the wing on the back, as said Stephan, and you can really enjoy the wave riding, because for people who don't know how foils work, just the power of the wave, now he's out of the wave, he needs the wind back, and he probably will catch another one later on. So that's really the cool part of wingfoiling up. He catch another one, because you really have this freedom and endless power, especially if you have a wave spot like this one with longer wave. You really can up once again. As soon as you catch the wave, you can really enjoy this, and that's one of the greatest parts for this freedom in the way. And it's not the hardest part. The hardest part will be, what is the hardest part for learning? The hardest trick everybody struggle.
Yeah, I think the tack is pretty difficult.
Yeah, the tack is the hardest part.
And you've got tacks going from toe side to heel side, and from heel side to toe side, and they all have their own tricks.
It's definitely the hardest part. Because we see it here internally, because for people who don't know, so for, as I said before, for IKO instructor, we will value their IKO diploma and give them the shortcut. So to become IKO coach and then IWO instructor directly, you need to pass the IKO coach. For this, it's an exam online, and you need to show us your riding skills. And we received it here at the office. We analyze it and certify or ask more videos. And definitely the tack is where people struggle. Most of the people, sometimes they send good videos and say, I'm just missing the tack. Can I be certified? And the answer, unfortunately for them, is no. So yeah, the tack is the hardest part. And the funniest part would be the wave riding. So going back.
Maybe I can just because I'm not finished on the waves yet, because it's just the best part.
Go.
And in the previous video that you were showing, it's showing these perfect lines, which not everybody has in their backyard. And I live at the North Sea, which is a complete mess most of the time. But we do get some basic ground swell when it's windy in the distance, and even that swell is enough to surf it. And that's the huge difference with surfing, wave surfing, the traditional wave surfing, is that you really need quite powerful breaking waves. Whereas this can be done just on the swell in the sea or in the ocean, and that makes it really cool.
That's a great point what you say, because for people who don't know, the wave we definitely see, as you mentioned here, it's good waves. They are surfable in a normal surf. Actually, we see some surfers on the back, but any kind of small mountain moving, some small swell, you can catch it with that, even in the North Sea. Great. Going back to instructor training, maybe to tell a little bit more about people how it works as soon as they will want to start a course. So again, we go back to this page. I want to become an IWO instructor. I'm motivated. I'm confident. The level we ask. Let me find the training path. It should be here. Okay. I don't know, I'm going to put it a bit bigger so people can see it well. So that's the Instructor Manual, the Module 2. I'm going to explain a bit more later on the manuals. But this is the certification standard. So basically, what we ask the entry level to become, to attend an IWO ITC instructor training course, it's this. We want people to be able to ride consistently in all directions, and as we mentioned before, able to jibe and especially tack. If you know how to do that, then you can definitely, wait, I'm going to go back in the page, go here, become an instructor, iwointl.com, start a course, you go there, motivated, you find your course, because you saw Stephan on the live and he's a cool guy. You want to go to that course in how do you pronounce it?
It's a very small town near Haarlem, but it's called Spaarndam.
Spaarndam in the Netherlands. And you click Learn More. And basically, here you have it. You have the price. So to book, you need to first pay the fee. And then you need to pay the rest directly at the location, and you have all the information over here. As soon as you book the course, you will receive the online content, so you can start studying. So for people that are familiar with IKO system, it's pretty much the same, and I'm going to show it. It's over here. Okay, so we have Instructor Manual, the level 1, the module 1, sorry, which is an online course. So basically, it's for you to get ready for the course. Here, it's important to study a little bit because, well, you commit to do this course, to learn a new career, and we want you to be prepared. Compared to the IKO system, for people who don't know, we have 10 days to become instructors. Since wingfoiling, it's a new sport, the path will be shorter. It's 5 days, but there are more to study at home. So it's important people start studying this. So you have the manual, and then you can really go through it, and it explains how everything works. So inside the career, here also you have the training path inside within the IWO. So for the winger, wingfoiler, we don't know, how do you call them back in the Netherlands?
Yeah, we call it wingfoilers.
Wingfoilers, because we have done some research also online, depending on where. So in the US, I have heard it as winger, wingfoiler, wingboarder, wingsurfer, and I'm probably missing a couple of new ones. So we're still at the age of trying stuff and having suggestions. Also, if you have a better name, you can always suggest it. So at first, you just ride and enjoy the ride. And if you decide to become instructor, so you pass the IWO ITC, you have 3 levels inside, and then you can become examiner or training master, like Stephan. It's very short, huh? It seems the journey is very fast.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit, now that we are here, about your examiner career. It's still mostly well, right now it's 100% still in the IKO, because you haven't done an ITC in IWO yet. But tell us a little bit about being an examiner. What is it like?
Yeah, it's great. It's so after kiteboarding for a few years and being a professional instructor for quite a few years, then it was an option. And if you enter all your hours online and you keep following that up, then at some point you can choose to join the training and to become an examiner. And it's nowadays it's a 3-week course. When I started, it was a little bit less work, but
it's even quite a challenge. It's even a 6-week course.
Yeah, you have to go through the assistant training and everything as well, right? Yeah. So for kiteboarding, it's quite a challenge. But it's a great path. I've done over 100 courses around the world, and you get to meet new spots, new people, and I'm still running around 6 courses a year, just 6 assistant and 6 instructor courses here in the Netherlands. So we train around about 50 instructors in the Netherlands every year, just in our center, but also other centers where we run courses, or where I'm invited to run the course. Just like this wingfoil instructor course, it's in Haarlem. It's with a wingfoil school, so they're IWO affiliated.
Do they do kiteboarding also, or no, only wingfoil? No, only wingfoil.
No,
good.
No. So they've been wingfoil instructing for 2 years now. It's a really nice professional setup. And they've been asking me, so when does the IWO start? When can I affiliate myself? When can we start training my instructors? So he was eager already at the end of last year, and I had to keep backing him down a little bit. But now that we're there, we're stoked to and proud to run one of the first courses, of course.
And it's a good opportunity also, because when we compare IWO to IKO, right now to become IWO instructor, it's easier, it's faster. So it's a good opportunity for pioneers, people that are really into it, to join and take the train with us and enjoy the ride. Because of course, like everything, like IKO, over time, it will take more time to become instructor probably. And as you mentioned, back in the days when you started to be IKO examiner, how many weeks was it your training?
2.
2 weeks, and now it's 6. So, and I think it's important because you're also a training master as myself. So we do train examiners, and it's not an easy career. It's maybe the best job in the world, but it's not super easy to do. You have to learn some stuff, and it's actually pretty interesting when we do those trainings, because I always mention it when myself, I've been trained a bit by you, a bit by Xavier, and a big bit by Mr. Eric Bodona, with whom I speak yesterday. We never speak usually. So Eric Bodona, it's the Yoda master of IKO. He created this with Frederic Benet, both of them. And yeah, during those weeks, it's probably the weeks where myself as a person have learned more in my life, and it's really interesting to be there in the learning process. And I'm pretty sure you also agree with that, Stephan. When you train a new examiner, it's very interesting to share and help them grow. So yeah, it's a great journey, and I will advise anyone out there to take it to either in the IKO or in the IWO, because IWO will be also similar on this. Anything you want to add about the training examiner stuff?
No, it's always a great journey, and it's great to see people grow during these weeks of training, and they're always very grateful for your time and effort, and they learn a lot, even though they've been teaching the same sport for years and years, and they always get a lot of information out of it and a lot of personal growth, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because at the end, it's 40 hours you are with a person that is here to study you, help you, and give you feedback. So the training master is here to train the examiner candidate. And the idea also, as always, IKO, IWO side, it's the same. We want an examiner to be able to train great IWO or IKO instructors. That's the point of all of this. The results are pretty great. Usually, almost most of the people that attend those courses are super happy. I'm pretty sure you also agree with that. One of the best moments for me, now I'm back at the normal courses, when I am examiner, training instructor, it's day 5 at the end. Usually the feedback, well, you always have some people unhappy, it may happen, but usually most of the people, the entire group is super happy, because the experience is good. We've been there with them. They've learned stuff. There is a lot of stuff to learn, to how to teach, how to train better kiters or wingers or wingfoilers or wingboarders or windsurfers, as we want to call them. We still need to decide. And yeah, that's a good moment. I'm sure you also share this experience, right?
Correct. Yeah, totally. And it's and very often they start teaching right in our center or next door, and we see a lot of growth from after just a few weeks.
Yeah, because also it's a good way. It happens to all of us. It's a good way to change life, to attend these courses. Many people, they once in a day they listen to they heard about those courses, instructor training courses. They attend it. It happened to me when I started this journey. I got fired from my old office job in Spain. And one day I heard about these IKO training courses. I was like, I'm pretty sure I would like to teach people this sport. So I attended one of these courses. And 10 days after, I was working in Mexico. So it's like big change. And 10 days before, I didn't even know that the school, I'm going to do a bit of advertising, it was PDC Kiteboarding. I didn't even know that school or the owner. I know it's a great friend of mine. And with IWO, it's going to be exactly the same. So people from one day to another, you can really learn, go to one of these courses, meet a great guy like Stephan that's going to be there to share all his knowledge. And at the end of it, you get a diploma and you can work. Yeah, most of the time, even in the school, you get the training, or if you don't want, you can traveling. Because that's the good news, even if a world with constant crisis that we are living now, it's a bit hard. Many job opportunities in the rest of the job opportunities are sometimes hard to find. But when we talk about kite or wing, there is a lot. There is still a lot, because people, they want even more going on holidays. We've seen it in Cabarete here. It's crazy. During the COVID, most of the flights were cancelled, so it has been hard. But as soon as flights were allowed again, we have had more and more tourists coming to the island, because people realize that they really want to travel, they really want to enjoy life after the long quarantine that most of us have suffered. And instructors do work. So that's a great opportunity for you guys out there. If you are thinking about this and you're watching this live and you're at your office job and you don't like your job anymore, quit your job and do an IWO course with Stephan. Isn't that great advice I'm giving? All right. Going back a little bit to how it works, because I've started it before, but so in case you go for the Stephan course, you book the course, you receive the content, and as I said before, you have the so the one I was speaking, where was that? Here. So you have the Instructor Manual Module 1. Here's the one to get ready, and as soon as you are ready, you will use the Instructor Manual Module 2, which is this one for the course in person, and that goes with the appendix. The appendix is basically the lesson plan. We have the discovery, so it works exactly the same for people that are familiar with IKO. Discovery, so discovery is basically on land when you discover the sport, day one. So you're here, you have an instructor that shows how to handle a wing on land, what to do with safety, where to place the hand, how to handle it, to turn it. Then the level 2 would be in the water. So that's, as I mentioned before, these big boards, we call them SUP, stand-up paddle. For people who don't know, who are not like Stephan, we're hydrofoiler. So this is the hydrofoil, that thing under, which is the complicated part. So day 2, you are in the water and you start knee down with the wing and you start moving. That's pretty easy, actually. The hardest part will come here when the instructor will introduce the hydrofoil under your board. Also, the board is getting smaller. So especially if it's a wavy spot like Cabarete, it's a bit tricky sometimes to balance. And level 4, then it's when you start really jumping and fully enjoying the sport. So that's inside the lesson plan of the Instructor Manual appendix that you will have as soon as you book the course.
Hey Vincent, maybe I don't want to interrupt too much, but it's probably a good idea just to explain a little bit about what the content of the instructor course is.
Yeah.
We didn't really go into it, but very often I get to ask the question, so are we going to sit in a room for 5 days and cover theory? Right? Then, well, we would all find that boring, I think. So we have, I would always usually say about 50-50 theory, practical. Obviously, you have a module 1, right, where you do prepare yourself and you have an exam that you can test your knowledge. But and we will cover this theory again during the course. So that's about 2 days, 2.5 days, and the remainder will be practical.
Exactly.
Right? So you have to show your level. You have to show that you can teach. Right? So you start by teaching each other, the other candidates in the course. And then from that, you, with this appendix as knowledge and with your trainer, you start teaching real life, true students who are invited to the school to learn how to wing. And that's by far the most interesting part, of course, where you will be challenged because even if you are an experienced instructor already, there are other candidates who are looking at you. They're making notes. Your trainer is looking at you, making notes, but it's all in a good vibe that we communicate and discuss these pros and cons of your teaching, so you can improve during the course.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. It's important what you mentioned, how the course are held, because it's not only theory, it's not only practice. It's a bit of a mix. And it's also sharing knowledge, because we always have people with more experience inside the group, less experience. Well, it really depends. Everything can happen. Sometimes you have 8 candidates with no experience. Sometimes you have 8 candidates already teaching remotely. But the idea is to share. So the trainer is here, as you mentioned. We go at the beach, we observe each other, and we provide feedback. And that's really, really interesting, because you really learn more about yourself, about the way you teach or about the way you ride, because it's something that usually in normal life, when you go kiting or wing foiling or you teach on your own, you don't get this feedback. It's you can always try to self-evaluate, say, okay, where should I improve? Was my lesson good enough? Blah blah blah. But it's not realistic. Whilst in those courses, first you have a trainer very experienced, but also some fellow candidates, instructor candidates, that will be there to help you share the tips and say, right now you did this mistake, so we can do it better and better. And the idea is at the end of the 5-day course, you have enough experience to start teaching on your own. And of course, so the idea is the people are safe with you and enjoy the sport. That's a good one.
Great.
Sorry.
And is there an exam at the end?
Yeah, there is an exam at the end of the ITC. So it's a written exam, but it's pretty much working also again a bit the same way that the IKO. Everything is an exam. You mentioned before you need to show your riding skills. So that's part of the exams. If you go to a course and you don't know how to wing, you're not a constant winger or wingfoiler or windsurfer or wingboarder, then you're not going to pass the course, obviously. In this case, it's still possible. What you will need to do is to improve your riding skills and send the video to your trainer. If it's Stephan, so it's Stephan. And as soon as Stephan sees the video, you can be certified. When you are teaching with real students at the beach, this is also an exam, because Stephan, your examiner, wants to see you respecting the lesson plan. So the lesson plan, it's all the steps that you need to teach in the right order to the beginner, so he learns, and keep it safe. And also the exam, the written exam, but because people often they only focus on this one, no? They only focus on this one when it's a bit everything. But as I always said, if you have the riding level and you're serious enough, because there are also some homework to do, you just listen to your trainer and you are there, you commit to the course. It's an easy course to pass, because it's made to people with the level to become instructor. Of course, then if you don't have the level, or if you don't show up for people that arrive late or blah blah blah, you may also fail the course, because we want people to pass that are good instructor at the end. What's your rate of passing when you do an instructor training course? How many people pass with you?
Yeah, it used to be a lower percentage, but as I've become more experienced and a better trainer, my obviously, my rate has gone up. So I would say 80-90%.
Good. Yeah, and also,
but a lot of change. There's been a lot of changes in the IKO system, right? So as we have an assistant training, we're already seeing that people are much more experienced before they join the instructor course. So they know what they can expect, and their riding level is higher than it used to be, and their knowledge of kiteboarding is higher than it used to be. So I think it's not just me; it's probably also the way we've set up these trainings over the past.
I think there is a bit of everything. Of course, the more we become better trainer, the better we train people. And also, as you mentioned, compared to the IWO, in the IKO there is the assistant course. So in the IWO, that would be my advice. I've said that before, but I will say it again. People booking for an IWO course, because there is no assistant course. So in a way, it's better for you because it's faster and cheaper, but you miss all this information. So it's really important, as soon as you book, you really study especially the Instructor Manual that I have here. No, that's not this one. This one. That should be this one. The Module 1, this one, because it will help you get ready for the Module 2 in person. And it's very important, because courses like this are short. 5 days, it really goes like this, super fast. And of course, we want you to be certified at the end, but we need you to study. If you do it well, it will probably go well, but yeah, we have to commit on this course. I always say that when I start the courses, and I really see it, the person that commits, trainer is here to help, contents are pretty well done to learn. So it's easier to pass, of course. People that don't study, don't show up on time, the probability to fail will be higher. A phone call?
I maybe have one more question. I didn't see too many comments coming in lately.
No, not many comments. Maybe because we are clear enough.
Yeah, we are very clear. But what about if there's no wind? What would you do?
There is no wind during the full instructor course.
Yeah, well, or what's the limit of how much wind do you need to train this course?
So the advantage of the IWO, I would say, is you don't need much wind to train really a beginner, because you need stronger wind when you want to be on the foil. I compare this to my experience in windsurfing. That's a full advantage on the wingfoil compared to kite. A kite, for people who don't know, there is a limit of wind so the kite flies. If the kite does not fly, you may be the world champion. There is nothing you can do. So you can obviously don't do a lesson. You can start doing a little bit of safety, how to set up a kite, but it's really short, and you need wind. With wingfoil, you couple of knots and on a SUP, and that's it, because the wing does not need to fly as you hold it. So you can really, as soon as there is 2 knots and you feel some strength inside the wing and wind. Well, French is hard. Sorry about that. You can start teaching. So that's really the good news about that. It's really easygoing. And I found it also, I don't know if you agree with that, but I found it also, there is less emotional fear from the student, especially when it's very light wind. The wing, we really see it, we hold it, it's right here in front of us. You can flip it, compared to the kite that is really further away. And sometimes people are a bit scared, even if they should not, but because it's farther away, there is all those lines, what's going to happen if I fall, compared to the wing. When you are there with your student, when they let go the wing, everything falls down, everything stops. You need to have 2 leashes. So it's not like IKO that say no to board leash. We really thought about that. Do we include the board leash in our content? And of course, the answer was yes at the end, because it's like for surfing, you want your board to stay with you, and actually your board is your safety also, because it floats, especially when you're a beginner and it's a bigger board. So in case you're too tired, you just sit on the board, which you cannot do with beginners twin tip boards on kitesurf, because they are really, really thin. So that's important. And you need a helmet, like that guy, and a life jacket too. That's IWO standard now. The helmet especially, because the biggest risk when you learn wingfoil would be to hit any part of your body with the foil, which is the thing under the board, for people who don't know it, that allows the board to kind of fly. And it's pretty strong, so you don't want to hit that with your head. So that's why you need a helmet, little life jacket to be safe all the time.
Yeah, it's actually it's not just a safety. It's also from a comfort point of view. I mean, I notice it much more when I don't wear my life jacket or my impact vest, because you fall a lot more. With wing foiling, there's nothing that lifts you out of the water, so you're always in the water this deep, and it's nice that you get a bit of lift, so you can crawl back on your board in deeper water. So it's both a comfort and obviously from a safety perspective. And the helmet, I always, and all the people I know wear a helmet. Whereas in kiteboarding, as an experienced rider, many people don't wear a helmet. But in wing foiling, everybody wears a helmet. Everybody, especially in the waves, gets hit by their board regularly in the head. So it's really comfortable that when you hear a thunk in the back, that it's actually a helmet and not your head. So it's a really clear necessity in this sport that you wear these the safety equipment.
Yeah, that's a really good point you made here. Like because when you learn kiteboarding, soon you learn and you kind of fly and you are less into the water. With wingfoiling, you spend a lot more time, especially at the beginning. But even a better rider, because it's easier to fall. And as soon as you fall, you're in the water, so you need some protection. Buoyancy always helps. and for the head, it's always important to have it covered.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have much question here, but we were supposed to be here 45 minutes because I know that now you need to pick up some kids of yours. So for everyone that is out there, it will be possible. Well, I should have said this at the beginning, but the live will stay live on our social media for at least 1 week, if I'm not mistaken. And on YouTube, IKO YouTube and IWO YouTube, it will stay forever and ever and ever there. And of course, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to contact the IWO directly. So you go to the page and contact us. And we have plenty of nice girls and guys here working for you to answer all the questions you have about anything about the IWO and also IKO. So thank you very much, Stephan, for being here with us. Thank you, everyone that watched that live. And I wish you a great rainy summer, because it's rainy over there, you said today?
Yeah, just one day. Yeah.
Just one day. I need to come to Cabaret. It's rainy every day, but then it's sunny every day also.
And then it's sunny every day. I know.
Well, thank you very much, Stephan. I'll see you over there, and have a great end of the day. And to anyone
Bye-bye.
that is watching, bye-bye.